And looking at the chasers, Willie, blazing tempo. You were talking about an iron horse earlier on in Thousand Stars. What a mare this is, one of the toughest and most versatile around. Can you believe that she's still going strong all this time after winning the Galway Plate?
Yes, I mean, we're just looking. She didn't get any break last summer. We kept her going, aimed for the Galway Plate, worked out, and I think she's certainly, after Coto Star, I think she's the best prize money earner in Ireland and England.
Blazing tempo, and the champion jockey Paul Townend have come through now to sweep on the near side, and it's a race that Willie Mullins has never won. He's won it now. Blazing tempo and Paul Townend win.
What she did in Fairyhouse, coming back to 2 miles, I'm probably going to come back and trip with her for the rest of the season, and I'm just wondering, we thought that we might sell her for breeding at the end of the season, but now I'm wondering, could she be a sort of a replacement for Gold and Silver and come back over the minimum trip? She's probably not in love with real heavy ground like he was, but there's still plenty of options there over 2 miles, I think, in this country.
The champion chase this year, you mentioned dropping back and trip. It looks almost certain to be a small field and maybe not the strongest in terms of the depth to it, so you fancy a chance of running well there, would you?
Certainly, we might just run there because there's good place money. And you've got to. I couldn't realistically see her with a chance of winning anything in Cheltenham. So bar the cross country maybe if we drop back for that. And well, certainly, I tell you what, we will enter in. She'll be entered in the Mayor's Hurdle. She'll be a lovely reserve to have for Kiviga in case anything goes wrong. And that's, you have to look at all the options. So the Mayor's Hurdle, maybe the champion chase or the Ryanair, there are sort of 3 options.
And at the last, Quella Spree is over, 3 lengths clear of Roberta Goldback and follow the plan, and then China Rock and Treacle, but on the run inside the last 200 yards, it's Quella Spree being driven out by Ruby Walsh. Roberta Goldback is trying hard to close for Barry Geraghty, but running up towards the finish, Quella Spree will give Willie Mullins his 8th Hennessy Gold Cup and wins for Ruby Walsh.
Quella Spree, Willie, we've seen him again this morning, gave you another great win in the Hennessy. A lot of people talking about his Gold Cup prospects, but just looking at it there, he's only run 15 times in his life. Do you feel that there's still a bit more to come from this fella?
Oh, I think so, yeah. I mean, we always thought a fair bit of him, and disappointed last year when he had his 2 falls and then brought down. But I think he's improving, and it looks that way this year.
And again, just with a view to his Gold Cup prospects, Willie, I know, like we said earlier on, you're concerned with getting your own house in order first, but what did you make of long runs, win at Newbury? Do you feel a little bit more optimistic about your chances after that or not?
Well, I didn't think I was going to beat long run anyhow. We're just hoping. I think Nicky Henderson has a knack of gearing horses up for Cheltenham, and I imagine long run will be a lot sharper coming to Cheltenham. Burton Port certainly ran a cracker there. But if my fellow keeps improving, it'd be great to get into place money, and you never know what happens on the day then.
And there are guaranteed to be some sets of connections going into the race, maybe just with an eye on pinching a place, riding conservatively. But your horse jumps so well and seems to like racing prominently. There's no fear of that with him, is there?
No, I think we wouldn't be worried about stamina, and I think we're not worried about jumping. So we'll be up there at the races, I think, from the beginning, and we'll hope for the best.
And the Midnight Club and Apt Approach, big outsiders, Willie. Are either of them likely to run?
I'll have to see what I'm going to do with the Midnight Club, whether he runs in the Bobby Joe chase or whether we wait and just give him another race somewhere else. But I wouldn't mind bringing him for the Gold Cup. There's plenty of time, I think, between there and Aintree, but I'd be hard to see him getting into a place in the Gold Cup, I think.
And there was bad news for Enda Bulger and Co, Willie, when you started running horses in these cross-country races. And Scots Irish, for a horse who is capable of mixing it in nearly Grade 1 company over 2 miles, looks a real class act for the festival.
Here comes Scots Irish and Patrick Mullins in cruising up on the outside. Gard Champetre running on for Neen in third. Down now towards the final fence, and it is Scots Irish from Tally Him Up. A slight mistake, Scots Irish. Tally Him Up on the far side from Scots Irish, and Gard Champetre putting in a big effort for Nina Carberry. Scots Irish in front from Tally Him Up and Gard Champetre, but Scots Irish will win the Glenfarclas P.P. Hogan Memorial.
He's got lots of gears. He's extraordinary horse in that he's taken to banks and those cross-country fences so well and loves it, and we just had no future for him inside the rails. I think it was 2 years since he won a race, but he was all the time meeting horses rated 160 plus, and he wasn't able to carry big weights in handicaps, or at least I often think it kills a horse to carry big weights all the time in handicaps. So it was a great alternative for himself and Uncle Junior. Uncle Junior, you wouldn't want to forget him either, because once they go past 3 miles, that getting into his territory. 3 miles and 7 the race is, and he has won one of those country races in Cheltenham. So Emmett thought he was going very well that day as well when all the runners ran out, and he's one. I wouldn't dismiss him either.
I was just going to say, though, they do tend to go very slow in those races, so that maybe isn't quite the accent on stamina you'd otherwise have. So a horse with Scots-Irish's speed might be favoured, might he?
Yes, plus the ground on the inside isn't watered, so it's always much better ground. They tend to get there. As you say, not as much emphasis on stamina, even though it is 3 miles and 7.